Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our weekly spin into stillness. I'm Reverend Robin Nashak, aka the Spiritual Spinister, and I welcome you here so that you can make some time for yourself to find the peace that is deep within you, to find the courage to do what you need to do to bring your authenticity and your integrity to these very strange and sometimes frightening and often confusing times. But here is where, as a community, we can be with one another, where we can give each other strength, where we can know who we are. So that is never, ever something that we question, and that we can act based on the most authentic person that we can be. And we do that in a couple of different ways. We start off by setting an intention for the evening and for the week. And so that's just a matter of collecting our thoughts and deciding what we want to have this experience mean to us, what we expect from it, what we would like to have happen as a result of it, what we may be hoping to manifest because we are doing it. So it's as easy as writing it down on a little tiny slip of paper, such as this one. And I always just keep a little stack of cut up copier paper, colored copier paper, or construction paper, if that works for you. And this way we can dig deep and we can articulate, we can declare for ourselves what we want, why we're here. And it doesn't have to be complicated. We might be meditating because it's a New Year's resolution or a ritual that we'd like to establish, and so we're looking for more regularity in meditation, or we're looking for more relaxation in our lives, or maybe we're looking for the ability to become still on demand, which can often be a challenge, again, in these crazy times. Whatever it is, let's think about it and write it down now. Now, if we were in person, I would collect your little slip of paper, your intention, and I would throw it into a bowl of burning flames, because we then send our intention out into the universe. We make that declaration, we write it down, and then when we toss it into the flames, we're letting go of the attachment that we have to that intention. So we're not holding onto it tight, hoping that it happens. We're not watching that pot of water boil. Instead, we're letting it go, and we are trusting that it is going to come to fruition in the best way possible for us. And so, because we're not in person, I can write the words everyone's intentions on one of these slips of paper, and through the miracle of both technology as well as spirit, we can gather that energy into that one slip of paper as a proxy and toss that into the flames as if we were all throwing our own individual intentions in. So, all of that, let's write our intention for this week. Again, I've got everyone's intentions. This will serve as all of ours, and you can keep your little slip of paper in the palm of your hand as you meditate. Add energy to it. If you don't have a piece of paper, that's fine too. Just write it down here. Just mime writing it down so that you've got it right there, so that you're focused on it in that place, and you can again send that energy to the community that is with us this evening. Part two is we draw a card, and that's the fun part. It's an oracle card from the Star Codes Astro deck. As you all know, if you've been here for a while, I love this deck of cards. Continue to use it. I'm looking really using it until we've gotten through at least all of the cards, which we have not done yet. We're a ways away, but more and more we manage to draw cards that we haven't had before. Not that that's a problem. If we draw a card that we've had before, that card is just reminding us of the message from before, or it is uniquely answering the intention or question that we have for this week. So that card may be an appropriate answer or appropriate information for you for more than 1 week that we are here together. Now, you do not have to buy into the mysticism of the cards, but you can think of the cards as a creative prompt. So if you're stuck in a way of thinking about something, if you haven't been able to move forward, perhaps the card is going to give you that one word or that little theme, or if I read more about it, something in the description of the archetype card that is going to just get those creative juices flowing for you to make you think of new ways to think about your issue or expand your perspective on your issue. So it's easy, it's fun. We're going to shuffle now. I'm going to shuffle the cards, and then I draw the top card, and that is the card that works as our card for the evening. So one card for all of us that answers all of our issues or is addressing all of our intentions. And so when we go into meditation, we are taking two pieces of information. We're taking our intention, which we've articulated, and we're going to ask ourselves, ask that deep self, that divine me, that deep voice. We're going to ask ourselves how the card that we've drawn is aligned with the intention that we have. Knowing that it is, because that's why we're here. We draw the card, it gives us the information, and then we get to talk to our deep self, communicate with our deep self to figure out just how this card is relating. And, you know, we may not learn that right away. Our meditation may reveal that we have to hold it close to us and pay attention throughout our week. And that is when we will find out, or it will be revealed, how the card and our intention may connect and how we might be able to act toward our intention using information that suddenly becomes very, very resonant sometime throughout the week. Or it will be resonating right away. So it can be either way. This is your meditation, and it doesn't have to go the same way every week. So let's take that top card now, and maybe it'll be different. One that we haven't seen before. If you're new, you've not seen any of them. So let's take this card, and our weekly card is interesting. We have had this one before. It is an interesting card. And the card is the 8th house. And the theme is mystery. So think of that intention that you've just set. Think of that word and that theme. 8th house, mystery. I'm going to put this down and put it up so that you can see the card for yourself. Don't be too alarmed by the imagery, because there is the card, a little bright light on it. Take the glare off there. All right, so you can see that card. So there is a skull on there, which is, you know, that's always been a little polarizing, or it may cause you to feel something, but go with that feeling. How is that artwork impacting the intention that you've set? What does it help you see more clearly, or feel more deeply, or understand more vividly? And And we'll find out even more as I read. Excuse me. If your chart were a village map, the 8th house would be on the corner of the red light district next to a mortuary or a savings and loan bank. It is a private house where we deal with things we don't talk about in public. Sex, death, debts, loans, psychic phenomenon. Here we deal with other people's resources and how they are exchanged. Money, bodies, thoughts, and work, and how we inherit goods and attitudes. This house can feel uncomfortable, but it's a place where we can transform. The action of this card: assess the power dynamics between you and other people around important resources like sex, money, or inheritances. Notice if a relative or boss withholds money until you behave, or if you or a lover withholds sex until some other need is met. Just get clear in your own mind if anyone is pulling strings, and try to heal dysfunctional dynamics with clear and healthy boundaries. So boundaries, mystery, seduce honestly. Not all strange sexual dynamics or unusual financial arrangements are a problem. If you understand your peculiarities and don't feel coerced or controlled by them, they are just part of who you are. Financial investors and advisors, consultants, ministers, lovers, intuitives, brain trusts, auctioneers, and investigators all work with 8th house affairs, and if they work with integrity, do so productively. That's a wide range. Financiers and ministers, lovers, intuitives. That spans quite a bit. All able to access this mystery, this idea that we are looking at all those things behind who we are that we may not feel that comfortable talking about. Develop your 2nd house resources, your own money, your own sense of worth and body confidence to strengthen your freedom and bargaining power, and operate in this realm with grace. Engage the resources handed to you, but make your own judgment calls. The 8th house calls for one last freedom: to acknowledge that death exists and be fully alive in response. The challenge of this card: it can be tempting to manipulate by withholding love. It can be tempting to manipulate by withholding love, power, or money, and hard to step away when someone else is jerking those chains. The gift of this card: face your worst fears and step through. Feel that liberation. The trap of manipulation falls away when you don't bite the hook. So, ultimately, the gift of this card is we are facing our fears. We're facing our worst fears, and we're looking at them head on, honestly, authentically, because we can't be manipulated when we see them for what they are. So this is a card really of liberation, of freedom from fear. And that courage is not the absence of fear. The courage is having the fear and acting and choosing to move through it anyway, which is really a card that I have so needed to have emphasized for me, because there are a lot of fears in this world. There's a lot of fears right now for people, for their lives. But how do we live in it? We have to go out. We have to keep doing it. We have to be out and protest if we think that's what we're supposed to do, or write something, or create art, whatever it is that brings us to a space where we can continue to move ahead and help others with courage, then that's what it is that we do. So let's go into that space. Let's find that courage. Let's move through that fear by getting comfortable. We're all here together. This is a safe space. So as we get more and more comfortable, we're going to breathe more deeply. We're going to relax more and more. And we're just going to safely drift down into the depths of our divine self and have a little discussion. Okay, so we're going to start with our breaths. I'm going to encourage you to go at your own pace. But you want to keep the breathing deep, so inhaling fully and holding and exhaling out completely and holding and inhaling again at your own pace. Holding and exhaling. And again, you can close your eyes. And as we are in this space together, relaxing more and more with each breath that we draw in and release. More and more, we allow any discomfort to just dissipate from our bodies as we allow it to relax. And as our body relaxes, as all of our discomforts and physical pains disappear, and as all of our emotional or mental challenges and discomforts fade away for this meditation, what is revealed in our mind's eye is a core of beautiful light. And that core starts as a pinpoint of light deep in the darkness, in this very safe space. And as we focus on it more, we can feel it getting brighter and brighter. Slowly growing and illuminating the space around us. We are so relaxed, and this light is so beautiful and warm and is our essence. And as this light is warm and safe, we feel emboldened. We feel our power. this feeling. That light overpowers darkness. And we also know that we can only see light against the background of darkness. And so now with this light that illuminates all the dark corners of our being, we choose at this moment to reflect on something in our lives, honestly and safely, in which fear has perhaps prevented us from taking that one baby step forward. And as we think of what that fear is, of a situation, of a person, of a long-held triggering behavior, but whatever it is, that fear, we know in some way is keeping us from moving a step toward where we want to be. But as light, as the light that we are, as we look upon this fear, as we feel our own power, suddenly we see with complete clarity, not only with that step forward through this experience is, but also that it's one small step and it's not that bad. When we see it with this clarity, with this brightness, when we feel our light, we know this situation, this person, this experience has no power over us unless we give it to it. And even if the overall thought of experience seems overwhelming, that first step seems so wonderfully simple in this safe space from deep within our being. That safety we are feeling right now is a truth that is being shared by our divine me. And when we recognize the divine me as this light that is who we are, we hear its message, uniquely delivered, but universally assuring us that we, as this light is shining on our fears, are more powerful than we know. And that divine me shows us with utter clarity us taking that first step toward where we want to be to fulfill that intention. We can do it together, says the divine me. We can make this first step together, and that's all we have to do right now. That's all we have to do when we get back. The rest will, can follow. One step. One step. Incapacitated, but we are excited to return to our physical bodies and enact this step in exactly the right way. One small step toward where we want to go is the beginning of that journey. So let us take this strength, this light, this courage, this gift of this night and this understanding and revelation, and return to our bodies. We are this bright, bright light illuminating everything around us and in us. And as this light symbolically begins to fade a little bit, we know it's still our life force. But as it gets pulled farther and farther in to our deep self, we can sense it remaining there as a pinpoint, as the pilot light of our soul that always is there, keeping us strong. What remains with that pinpoint of light in our being is the body that we've floated, returned to, and began to fill every corner of it with our own life force. With the breath being a tether, and we catch that breath, we sense that deep and intentional breathing. As that tether, we feel strong, and to return to our full consciousness together, we're going to take 3 quick breaths, and on that third breath, we're going to open our eyes together. Inhale, and exhale quickly. Inhale again, and exhale quickly. And one more deep breath, inhale and exhale quickly. And here we are. I hope you feel empowered and emboldened, and I hope you were able to sense that beautiful light that just keeps getting brighter, that shines through all of the darkness, through all of our fears, that allows us to take that one step, just one, moving toward where we want to be for ourselves. Gets us out of the quicksand, out of the gum or the glue or whatever's holding us down. One step, we've been freed by the light. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I'm going to say hello to those who are here. So hello to Kathleen and Sue. Thank you for being here on Zoom. I appreciate you. You know I love you. I'm so glad you were here. And I'm going to check to see who's elsewhere, but I'm also not going to forget to burn our messages, which I sometimes do. So let's get there now. Let's pull out those little slips now. When we toss these into the flames, the candle keeps burning out, so I gotta relight it. So I usually throw mine in, and then I toss the other one in with it, so that they are going together. There goes one. There goes the other. And together, they constitute all of our being together in this community for this evening. Manifesting our intentions and believing in and celebrating and working with the mystery. I thank you once again for joining us. Please go forth with peace in your heart. Let peace begin with me as our theme for the year. Let peace begin with me. Be fabulous. Be glorious. I love you.